Up, it's your man Marv Glover
and the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the chiseled Adonis.
And welcome to the Hold My Nuggets podcast, episode number 7, where we talk 50% sports, 50% real shit,
100% of the time.
And if you don't like that, you can hold my nuggets.
Suck my dick.
Episode number 7. They said we were not gonna. Listen to me. I heard when they said it. You didn't hear it.
Who's they?
They the same ones that told you your channel was getting taken down. We told them it's not happening.
Wait, so you saw them personally? You ain't called me.
What?
I could have personally delivered them some new headphones, some Beats by Dre. They got it directly.
You know what I'm saying?
I had to give them all kinds of taijutsu.
We here, man. Like when I reached out to you and I told you we was gonna do this podcast, you know what I'm saying? I know you was excited, you know what I'm saying, because it's me. But do you know we was gonna get to? I'll be honest with you. I don't know. But we here though.
I mean, I knew I was gonna get to 7. I wasn't sure if you were still gonna be the co-host or not.
But
regardless of what the deal was gonna be,
but wait,
we here now.
The name of the show is Hold My Nuggets.
We here now
with Marv Glover, and so you're the and.
No, we could just paint over your face.
But why would you do
paint
that?
over your face?
First of all, I think my animation is a little bit better.
No, we could just call it, what was his name? Bob Ross with the afro. We offer like a picks deal for picks. He'll come right in and, let's just pull a happy tree. A happy tree.
Why are you trying to play me right
No,
now?
like, look at your face. Wouldn't it make for a happy tree?
I'm trying to say, though.
You could be like an acorn.
I'm a sexy motherfucker. Let's start off with that. That's a beautiful shade. We're not even the same skin tone, so I don't know why. I got to talk to the guy.
I don't know. In the last episode, you was talking about analingus, so perhaps that's why your face so brown. But we ain't talking about that right now. What we talking about here today.
What's the frustration?
We got some things.
You got some animosity in your heart.
In the NFL.
That's why you talking about me the way you was just talking about.
I don't know what you talk about.
I feel attacked.
You feel attacked? You know who's feeling attacked right now? Jay-Z.
Sean Carter.
That is his name.
Hova. You know how to do the
I can't do it. I can't do it.
It's Hova.
I don't know.
The Rock.
I couldn't tell you.
The Rock.
All I know is that he's got a child named Blue, and that kind of bothers me.
And he has twins, Siri.
Oh, wow.
Sir,
hey, Siri.
Sir and Rumi. You gonna
wait,
up my
Sir?
phone.
Wait. The kid's name is Sir?
Sir and Rumi. He has a twin son and daughter. You ain't notice?
Sir
and Rumi. Sir Carter. You know what I'm saying? Royalty. You know what I'm saying?
So when they ask, like, what's the prefix? He's Sir, Mr. Sir?
Sir Carter.
That's a bad name.
And then it cancels out and it's just Carter.
And what's the other kid name?
Rumi. But it's spelled R-U-M-I. Celebrities aren't really all that
good.
Rumi. Celebrities aren't really all that good at naming names. Let me tell you something.
It's feeling roomy in here, Rumi.
I'm trying to tell you right now, if you need someone to name your kid, I got you right now. Marvin, Marvinita, Marvinito. You understand?
It's a bad name.
Marvin.
But nonetheless,
we here.
I guess you'd have to strike a deal. The same way
that Jay-Z
struck a deal with the NFL. And evidently, there's a lot of animosity going over here.
Yes, it is.
Because apparently there's been this albatross of what's going down in the NFL.
That's a big word.
A little bit. But people have thought, hey, you're not supposed to make that deal.
Yeah.
It's not a right deal to make.
Don't do that deal.
Questions of if Jay-Z is selling out the way he sell records.
Jigga man.
What are your thoughts
on this deal? Well, before I get into that, I just want to say, it's your boy Marv Glover, natural born lover, chicken preferably smothered, built like no other, magazine, I'm on the cover. You know what I'm saying? Let's focus. Well, how do I feel about the Jay-Z deal? I mean, here I really just started reading into it more thoroughly as of recently. We don't have a lot of details on it. We just know that there is a deal. I know there was a press conference. I believe it was in the Rock Nation building where he sat down with Roger Goodell and a bunch of other white people in ties and suits and talked about it. How do I feel about the deal? There's a lot of I guess ways and mixed emotions to interpret it. I don't have too much to say or much to feel because that many details haven't been revealed. What we know is that apparently he is going to be the live entertainment strategist. I believe that's the title, where he's going to, I guess, delegate, the entertainment that they hire for Super Bowls and things of that nature, which is a little ironic because last year he did decline to do the Super Bowl, told other people not to do the Super Bowl, went on an album and said, I said no to the Super Bowl, you need me, I don't need you. We in the end zone every day, NFL, we big, sometimes. So there's that. He's going to be the live entertainment strategist, and then Rock Nation, which is, his label, his brand, is apparently going to work with the NFL to and collaborate with the NFL on their, I guess, social justice reforms and movements and things of that nature. A lot of people are upset.
Yeah.
A lot of people are upset because this was the same guy, as we know, who as I said before, did not decline to work with the NFL and do the Super Bowl because of everything that happened with Colin Kaepernick. A lot of people are saying he's selling out. A lot of people feel that this is the wrong way to go. What I'll say is this. This is I need to see what happens. I need to see what happens. If I don't, given that I don't have the details, I need to see how things play out. A lot of people, one big thing that was referenced was we live in New York, the Barclays Center situation, where when the Barclays Center was announced, I don't know if you know, a lot of Brooklynites came out and were essentially like, yo, we don't want this shit. And then when Jay-Z bought I don't know if it was before or after or while they were building or whatever, but bought some stock in the Barclays Center, people was like, you know what? I think we fucking win. And then he had a whole college concert run and things of that nature. People were gravitating towards it. Barclays Center moved on, and a lot of people call that the genesis of the hyper gentrification that was taking place within the community, things of that nature. Ended up selling his stake for, I believe it was like $1 million or something like that. No more Jay-Z, whole lot of gentrification. People are just sitting here with their dick in their hands, like, what the fuck happened? So, I mean, it's a two-way street. It's a 50-50 thing. For me personally, I don't feel a way about it because even though the NFL is a big-time organization and things of that nature, we just have to see the way things play out, man. We have to see the way things play out. So that's what it is for me. What about you?
All right. Well, first, I made a video about this, so you might want to go and check that out. At the time of this recording, it's not out, but or I should say, when it is posted, it will be out.
Right.
But I have this to say about it. I don't mind it. Okay. I can't say I love it. I can't say I hate it because nothing has happened yet. Right. At the conclusion of the season, I'll probably do a follow-up and we could talk about, hey, what happened with the deal?
Right.
I'll say this much. People are jumping way out of proportion, talking about, okay, he's a sellout, all this other stuff. Now, it is a bit, and it's a little antithetical for him to say, you know, all right, I told this person, oh, don't perform. I said this, oh, don't perform. Then go and make a lyric like, yo, they need me.
Right.
And here you are making a deal. But this is the way I look at it. If you want to attack certain things, you got to make sure your army is intact. So before you go and do that. And the best art of war, you know, Sun Tzu, all the other things, if you want to be able to do battle, you battle from the inside out. It's the best way to win.
Right.
All right. So if there are the issues that are with the NFL, you would rather attack it intrinsically from the inside. So now you have somebody who is an ally and represents us on the inside. You build from there. Right. I see no issues. Now, the problem with there's the Kaepernick and the Eric Reid. Now, that can go in many different directions. I have different sort of opinions about Eric Reid and Colin Kaepernick. But I don't see a problem with the deal. Why don't we just wait to see where things are going to go? Because I'm sure this guy has a plan. If he did it for all personal gain, we'll find out at the end of the season. So let's just be patient, be paragons of patience, Job-like in the suppression of our desires, and see where things go.
I actually was a couple hours ago, I was reading through an article. Do you know who Michael Eric Dyson is?
Yes.
Okay. For those of you who don't know, he's actually a sociology professor at Georgetown University. Very prominent figure within the black community. And basically, he wrote an article for the Washington Post where the title of the article was essentially like, I'm paraphrasing, but people are mad at the Jay-Z deal, but this is how activism works.
Yes.
And essentially what he referenced was he juxtaposed Jay-Z and Colin Kaepernick to Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, not necessarily saying that they're on the equal level in terms of like you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but just
it's an analogy,
right? It's an analogy to kind of break down the approach. And what he talked about was back then at the time, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X were kind of a yin and yang thing. Malcolm X's whole approach was like, yo, if they take one of ours, we got to take two of theirs. Martin Luther King was, no, we need to sit. We need peace. We need to figure out, we need to sit with white people and figure it out. Fight against oppression and racism and systematic, all this other different things. And, Martin Luther King sat down with some people within, I don't know which presidents in particular, but certain people within the government and things of that nature to work towards, progression within our community and work against the things that were going on at the time within America and the racial divide that was taking place, right? And basically, Michael Eric Dyson kind of took those two and compared it to the Jay-Z Cap situation, where you have a guy like Cap who's on the outside looking in, fighting for what he believes in and fighting against everything that, what's going on in the community. Then you have a guy like Jay-Z who, like you said, to a certain degree, you can call it a bit hypocritical, but now he's taking a different approach where he's like, actually, you know what, let me sit down with these people to see if there's some type of progression that could be formed. I did see, I want to talk about the Eric Reed thing first, but I did see a comment. I'm not going to say by who, but by a person who was essentially like, a lot of people are trying to cap for, this is me quoting person, but like a lot of people are trying to cap for this Jay-Z move by saying, well, how this is a great way to fight it, and they were basically like, name a time in history where a black person has gotten a seat at the quote unquote a seat at the table. We both understand what that metaphor means. A seat at the table and actually instilled change within a larger white institution that was present. I don't know if you have anything to say about that or comment that you would want to make on that or not.
Went to go instill change. I can't really say anything that's been, too.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
I'm sure there's been times, but my thing is, it's a collective effort. Not one person can do something. If you really want to see change, people have to be able to buy in and have patience, because it's ridiculous to think that one person can go and one man can change the world. No, it's not going to. It's a collective effort to get things to move.
110%. But now then some would make the argument, right, and say that you have a guy like a Jay-Z who's a billionaire, right? This is a man who's very well off, very well connected, a lot of resources. Like, it's Jay-Z. You understand what I'm saying? Granted, yes, it's not a one-man effort, but this is a man with the tools, with the connections, with the resources on his own that can instill, some believe, the change within the community that we need to see to move things forward, and that he didn't necessarily have to enforce or make this partnership happen. To that, you would say what?
I would say, what change do people want to see done? At least, because if you're in the NFL, what are you going to do? Because the NFL already have out to reach programs. The NFL are already in the communities. The NFL have people who pretty much, those employees of the NFL, they work in communities, they help, they give back. The NFL donates, they do all this other stuff. And this kind of goes into the Colin Kaepernick, Eric Reed sort of thing. Because what is your plan?
Right.
It was one of the reasons why last year they had such a huge issue with Malcolm Jenkins and Anquan Boldin when they struck the deal with the NFL and said, yeah, we're not going to kneel no more. And the NFL said, all right, bet what we're going to do is we're going to donate to these charities and these charities. We're going to take this percentage and put it over there. Now, did I agree with how they went about the deal? Not at all.
Right.
But at least they're going to try to take a step to go somewhere. From what I saw with Cap, what I saw with Eric Reed, there is no real plan. It's just, we kneeling, we bringing awareness to what's going on. Now, here's my thing. Are you aware that they shooting unarmed black men? Police shooting unarmed black men?
Of course.
I'm aware.
Right.
All right. So now that everybody's aware, now what?
Right.
Where are we going from here? So the problem is, and this is my issue that I have with Eric Reed, he doesn't seem to be aligning with, all right, let's make a change. Let's go. He's aligning with just Cap. So the problem is Cap just trying to get a job back. Because you already doing all you already in the communities, you doing all this other stuff.
Right.
People have been doing that for years. So where's the steps being taken? Jay-Z now having access on the inside, maybe he can go and do something. But we don't know. As I said, time will tell.
Time will tell. And
we'll find out come February, then we can do an analysis of what transpired.
One thing, and you bring up Eric Reed, I don't really have too much to say about, because we both saw the comments. Eric Reed, for those who don't know, when the deal was announced, I don't know if it was the day of or the day after, but it was very short after.
Yeah, probably the same day.
Probably the same day. I was at his locker, I'm guessing, whatever. And when you asked about the deal, essentially just called it despicable. You know what I'm saying? Called Jay out, and I'm paraphrasing, but essentially called him a hypocrite, and saying was capping, basically saying he was for Kaepernick, and now he's doing this and all this stuff. I kind of felt a little weird by it, because if Eric Reed's beef is with the fact that Jay is partnering with the NFL, my good sir, you're
employed.
You play for the Carolina Panthers. So I mean, if your problem is his association with the league, my brother, you associated with the league too on a lower level where you can't really do the things that he's actually trying to do. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, once again, I don't know where this. I'm qualify my statements by saying it's tough, not tough, but I really don't know where to stand on this, because I don't know the details. I need to see results. I need to see something. I need time. Like you said, time will tell.
Yeah.
But in regards to that comment, it's like, bro, like, is your beef with the fact that he's associated with the league? Because You associated with the league too. You work. How you mad that you can't get? How you hitting from outside the club? You can't even get in. Like that.
See, the thing is, it's why when I look at somebody like that, his allegiance to it's one of those people like, yo, that's your bro.
Right.
They got your back.
Right.
Through thick and thin, but you look like a clown.
Okay.
See, the cause, Eric Reed looking like a clown because he don't want no progression unless Cap. That's why I looked at Cap and said, yo, this completely changed for me. Because for his girl Nessa, him, Eric Reed, it appears that, yo, if we going to make progress, we going to be the ones involved. We got to be there.
Right.
So it's changed from, let's make progress to we got to be a part. We got to be at the front. We got to be at the forefront of these being happening.
Right.
So that's the way I see it. They just look like, yo, it's a power trip sort of thing.
Right.
Nobody else can be at the focal point of making these changes because we the one who started this.
Hilarious. So now let me ask you this, right? We keep bringing up Cap. Given I believe it was 2016, 2017, right, where his last season in the league. It's been a couple years now, and another reason why a lot of people felt a way about the Jay-Z deal is because essentially they're like, well, what about Cap? What about Cap? What about Cap? There are a lot of people that still honestly and truly want to see and do believe that, first and foremost, Colin Kaepernick should have a job in the NFL. Let's just start off with that, in my personal opinion. But now the question is, being how many years he's been removed from the league, given everything that's transpired from when he was in the league up until now, do you think we'll ever see him play in the league again?
I don't think he'll. Is he capable?
Well,
yes.
Hold on.
Will he play in the league again?
Let me phrase the question. Do you think he'll ever work in the NFL again? That's more broad.
No,
why do you think so?
It's clip for that because for one, you have somebody who has a ton of attention at that because if you sign him, it's similar to what happened with I'd say with Michael Sam. Because you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. So you sign somebody like Cap, right? Say if he gets signed to let's say the New England Patriots, right? The minute Tom Brady has a bad game, all of a sudden, yo, you ever thought about maybe Cap could go in? Tom Brady's 42. Father time never fails. So when he's gonna get some time, then if he gets signed from any other team. He could be the backup, but the cameras are constantly going to, when they going to put him in the game, when they go. Similar to what we saw with Lamar Jackson and Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco had a good game. All right, let's keep the cameras on Lamar because he's a first-round pick. Right. So the thing is, there's a ton of attention that comes with it. And second is one of my big problem that I had with Cap when he ended up doing the whole thing is the last time that we saw him, you threw 16 touchdowns, I think 4 interceptions and all the other stuff, but you didn't win games. Right. You could play sensational. Right. And if you're not winning games, that's what they judge you by. Because the NFL that's what they judge you by. Oh, you could be sensational, but your team sucks. So
this is the reason why I rephrased the question, right? I'm going to piggyback off your point and give my own. Do I think Colin Kaepernick will ever play quarterback in the NFL? No, because the fact of the matter is, you addressed it from more. Majority of your point is you addressed it from more of like a publicity media standpoint. You're 110% right
because he's capable. But
the minute he gets on the field, fuck the game. What's Cap doing? Because everybody's like, so much so to the point where there are some people probably know it in the crowd like, yo, bro, like if I really low key want so and so to get injured, so son could come in and we could really see, like the pressure would be ridiculous, right? So from that standpoint, you're correct, but also just when you're talking about sports, more specifically the sport of football, more specifically a position like quarterback, you've been removed from the league for almost 2 to 3 seasons.
2 years.
Now. 2 to 3 years. We don't know what kind of shape that he's in. You understand? And even if he's in tip-top phenomenal shape, you don't step away from a game for that long. And I even talked about this with a guy like Le'Veon Bell, totally different situation, but I don't care how great he was the last time you saw him. You're away from the game, playing competitive at that level against that level of competition for a year. It's hard to get back.
There's rare people who's able to pull it off because the best example for that position with the same sort of playing style would be Michael Vick.
Right.
You go to prison, you come back, and when he came back and to the Eagles, it wasn't as if, I just walked right in and I'm the starter. I believe it was he came back in the 2009 season. And 2010, he probably would have been the MVP, but then the last couple of games, it kind of fell off. Boom. But yeah, it depends kind of shape or how good can you play. But he would be the thing that kind of stifled him was that he was saying, you want to be a starting quarterback. Then evidently they retracted that statement. Then it was, I just want to be in the league. So who knows? But I don't think he'll ever play another snap.
But now, once again, this is exactly why I rephrase the question. I don't think that he'll ever play quarterback in the NFL.
He'll be associated with the NFL.
I think that there's a possibility he might be associated with the NFL, right? I think that, once again, going back to the Jay-Z deal, we only know so much. I wouldn't be surprised if on whatever executive board or whatever, like, because there is also talks. Another thing we didn't bring up is that Jay-Z is in talks right now, or there has been rumors that he's looking to get some ownership stake in a team, which would make him the first. No, it wouldn't make him the first ever black owner.
I think so. Yeah, it would.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think there's a black owner.
He'd make him the first ever. Correct us if I'm wrong in the comments, but I don't think there's ever been a black owner. He'd be the first black owner ever. If that happens, who's to say Colin Kaepernick wouldn't get hired as an executive? It's the sky is the limit, man. Do you understand what I'm saying? The sky's
nepotism is a thing. You know, you hire who you want to hire.
I could see that even if he's under, like, even if the title is like executive, whatever the case may be, and his name is just on a piece of paper so that he can be collected. Yeah. I could see something like that happen.
Yeah.
And if that's I don't think that's Jay-Z's grand plan of this all to get Colin Kaepernick connected some way to the NFL. But I think that somewhere in his mind is like, man, if I could get some ownership for some team and hold my homie down. And I also think if that was to happen, it would alleviate some of the, I guess, the war.
It would depend, because you already know there's going to be those who like, well, you're working with them now. Oh, you're a seller. Immediately, just like that. But you gotta, there has to be a plan in motion.
Right.
There has to be somebody who has a vision and be able to articulate that, because everybody doesn't need to know all the details.
Right.
You can keep some things, very vague. You tell the people what you want to tell them. They come up with whatever conclusion they want to come up with.
Right.
You got to just go through and follow a plan. What I don't want to see happen is Jay-Z works with the NFL, gets that ownership stake, gives this man a job as an executive somewhere just to make him happy. No, if you're going to bring him in, have a plan, have something that people have, you have something to follow through with to truly grow. Because if it's just, we just taking up space, what's the purpose?
Now,
make a difference.
My question to you would be is, if you're in Cap's position, because it's like, for me personally, from where I stand, for these past couple of years, you hear all this talk about, will Cap get a job? Will Cap get a job? Will Cap get a job? I don't know if he's personally come out and spoken out about that, but if you're Cap, for me personally, if I'm Cap, I don't know if I'd want to play in the league again. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, if it's money related, then it is what it is. But in terms of like the stand that he's took and the position that he's taken now and the way he's been outspoken about the league, it would be kind of weird if after everything that's happened, it's like the Jay-Z thing is different. There was never an association to begin with.
Yeah.
With Cap, it's like, hey, y'all purposely came together. There was a whole collusion case and everything. Y'all came together to kick my ass out. And once again, I don't even think we ever found out all the details about the collusion case.
We never.
For all we know, within that agreement, could be like, hey, bro, you're not coming back.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So, but for you personally, if you were Kaepernick, would you want to come back?
No, I wouldn't want to come back, because if I say, I don't need you, what am I saying? I have all these days without work. If I could have went to the CFL, go played in Canada. I could go to Mexico, go play in the MFL.
You could have got a job at the AFL.
Yeah, you could have got with the AFL, or even, well, not the AAF, because I was connected to the NFL.
AFL.
Yeah, but all of the different places where you could have went to go play. You're talking about, I'm out of work, because the out of work is the NFL. So what do you really want? You can't berate a whole organization but still want to be employed by that organization. The only reason, if I was Cap, that I would want to get back into the NFL is to, if I get back in, I want to win a Super Bowl to where you're forced to have to hand me that trophy. It's similar to when after Deflategate and then the Patriots won. That was one of the only reasons why when the Patriots won, I said, you know what? I want to see Roger Goodell hand him that trophy. Because you have to feel that on the inside. Yep. So if I was Cap, the only reason why I'd want to play in the NFL is to have somebody hand me that trophy, look you in the eye like, yeah, you know I'm that dude, and hold that up like, I got it done. And then after that, I'll probably retire or say what I got to say. So, that'd be the only reason. Outside of that, what is the purpose? Because you can't just talk down about this organization. It's similar to the people who, and this kind of can go in many different ways, but like the people who say this stuff about America, like, this, whatever, but you're still here, though.
Yeah.
So if you here, do something while you here.
Well, since we're talking about everything that's going on in the country, I feel like one thing we don't talk about enough is, we dive here and there into our personal lives, but a lot of people don't notice. Me and you actually come from Haitian descent. We have Haitian parentals. All right, as you call them. What is it, patriarch and monarch? Whatever.
Yeah, patriarch, matriarch.
There we go. Boom. All right, me and Dave both come from Haitian descent, Haitian backgrounds. I'm pretty sure we got a couple of Haitian followers out there too. And off camera, me and you talk so much about life growing up, like what life is now in dealing with our culture and things like that in relation to our parents. Your stories are much more thorough and detailed and funnier than mine. But it's like, I wanted to take a chance to bring that to the podcast. So in our culture, right, within Haitian culture, we actually have a phrase. right? And we both know it, which is l'école la caille l'église. Now, for the people at home who don't know, the translation of that in English is home, l'école la caille, home, school, church, right? Growing up within a Haitian household, that's really all you know. We did not have the freedoms that some of you American and some other Caribbean families had, because I've heard some crazy ass story about some of these Jamaican kids, but we're going to get to that. But I got to ask you, to start off with you, what was early life like dealing with that mantra, living on your house?
Akon was singing for for about, I'd say 16 of my first years. He was just, I was on absolute lockdown. I couldn't go nowhere. I needed permission to cross the block.
It was really
go across the street. Oh yeah, without
Okay.
question, man. I mean, they were still picking out my fits when I graduated college.
Really?
So yeah, nah, there wasn't. I mean,
Okay,
it was,
goodness
when I
gracious.
got to high school. But yeah, it was on lock, man. There was only so much you could do. Your friends, they had to know your parent. They had to know their parents.
Yep.
Food, it was what's inside the house. That's what you eat.
Yeah.
I don't know where you're gonna get the money from. You can
Yeah.
scrape up these pennies. I've
Yeah.
done that twice. Where I walked into a place with just a bucket of pennies to try to go buy something.
dead ass?
Yeah, I kid you not.
Bro.
I had 1,000
What
pennies.
kind of family
I
do
had
you
1,000
come from?
pennies, dog.
Buying what?
I was trying to get a hero, and I was gonna get a roll as
Holy
well. I
shit.
never forget. They took it too.
They took the
because they
penny?
knew me, but they were like,
Hilarious.
"Yo, just know you can't do this no more." So I went to the other corner store. 'Cause there's a lot of corner stores around New York.
It's rough out here, bro.
Yeah, it was wild, man.
A lot of people really think we joke. A lot of people think Haitian kids joke when we talk about like the plight of living under a Haitian household. The level of strictness is almost it's suffocating. You understand? And when you're younger, it becomes so. You become normalized to it, but in actuality, to a certain degree, and don't get me wrong, of course, in every parent, I don't care what culture, whatever the fuck you come from, all in all, the way that you parent, for the most parents, is I just want to protect my kid and make my kid the best version of themselves they possibly could be. But it's like we damn near got robbed of a childhood, bro, if we really think about it. Like, when I was younger, bro, like, l'école la caille l'église, I'd wake up. I think that's why I got like the comedy gene in me too, because it's like my only freedom was really watching television. I couldn't ride my bike on the block. I couldn't go to no parties. I couldn't. The only thing I had was sleeping over at my cousin's house. That's family. And one day,
couldn't even do that.
bro. Listen. One day, my dad was like, "Hey, we not doing that shit no more." I'm like, "What?" He was like, "Nah, this summer's different. You stay your ass home." I'm like,
Boy, my
okay.
father, my cousin was trying to find a place to stay in my house, and my pops was like, "Yeah, you gotta go."
What?
And the crazy thing is that, like, my parents are shady, so they do everything behind your back. Like, they don't say nothing to you.
Okay.
So they say if you in my crib, right? They're like, "Yo, that dude who got the eyebrows inside, yo, he gotta leave. Yo, I don't like that dude with the mustache." And you in the other room,
Yeah, chilling.
You in the
Yeah,
bathroom,
same
just
thing.
You're urinating.
Same
It's like,
thing.
yo, what?
He's like, yo,
wow,
so-
you don't want me here?
What-
I
so-
bet I'm a dip.
So when's your friend leaving? When is your friend? Is he going
Yo,
to
it's
stay
wild,
here?
man.
It's absolutely
It's wild.
L'école la caille l'église, bro. It's like all you know is go to school, come home, wake up, do it again until Sunday come. Congratulations, you got a day off, but nah, you going to church. Come home. And it depends on the type of church you go to too. When I was younger, bro, I went to a church that was literally from 12 in the afternoon to 8 at night.
Yeah.
Non-stop worship. Didn't even preach.
Yeah.
Just non-stop. The Holy Ghost fire. Holy Ghost fire. That's it.
All day.
All
day.
day.
I'm in this
bro.
hot suit, man.
This big ass XXL
OD.
suit from Tuxedo Master, and you fucking in church all day.
It's Italian.
You come home, you like, it's slit. I'm out. Like, nah, bro, you're not playing no game or nothing. Get ready for l'école. You gotta, they going over homework.
All day long. I tell you, every single weekend, my friends would come to the house, and it was the meme. It was like, yo, when you waiting for your friend to see if they're gonna get the okay,
Yep.
I was outside singing freaking New Edition. Sunny days, everybody loves them. Tell me,
baby,
can you stand? Can you stand?
Sapat coming to the back of your
Couldn't
head.
go outside.
Can't go
Couldn't
outside at all.
man.
Can't go out. What, like, bruh, I remember, like, it was so bad, man. Like, I remember I couldn't even go to, like, see basketball games. I couldn't have extra, like, as a kid, extracurriculars are so important because it's just like you're just being a kid. You just living life. You couldn't have no fucking extracurricular. The only extracurriculars I had, my dad made me go take piano lessons. That was only because he wanted me to play the piano in the church. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's how it was. For you, what do you think was the hardest part about like growing up and having these kind of parents that we had?
That's a loaded question. Probably gonna have to. Wow, we'd probably have to extend this for another time. But basically, I'd have to say, the best way to put it was the tough thing about it was everything that I did. I never really had enough time to do it. They always set it up to where I had to wrap everything up so fast.
Okay.
And it was so unfortunate. So yeah, we're gonna have to extend this for episode 8 where we could really just go right into it.
Oh damn, really?
Yeah.
Holy smokes. Okay, shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
Yes.
that's it. That's
All right.
we go bring it back. We didn't get into everything we wanted to get into, but appreciate you for tuning into episode number 7 of the Whole My Nuggets podcast. I'm your host with the most, Marv Glover, and that man across from me is the
Diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis.
And we want to thank you for tuning into the Whole My Nuggets podcast, where we talk 50% sports,
50%
real shit,
100%
of the time. And if you do not like that, you can hold my nuggets.
Talk my penis.
Thank you, and have a blessed evening.